A nice young lady asked on one of my other videos what was the reason for me going into effort mode. The subject matter I'm going to discuss in this video is not a major reason why I went in, but it definitely doesn't help. But before I jump off into that, shout out to Ambi101. I hope I'm getting her name right because I'm not in front of my computer right now. But anyway, she debunked the whole Vitaly TV video that some of these guys have run with and tried to make a point about black women. Well, she debunked it. If you want to see that video, I'll put it in the description box. Now, on to the task at hand. This video is going to cover how Asians rip off black people. You may wonder why Asians, or really any type of foreigner, but I say Asians because it's mostly them. But you may wonder why foreigners like to set up shop in black neighborhoods. Now you may say it's because, oh, well, they go places other people don't really like to go, so that gives them kind of a monopoly. Well, sorta, but that's not quite hitting the nail fully on the head. I heard from an inside source that you can make as much as 3 times as much in a black neighborhood than you can in a white neighborhood. And it's for these reasons. Reason number 1, black people tend to be more wasteful. Instead of reusing certain things, they'll just throw it away and buy a new one. My dude used to manage a so-called ghetto grocery, and he said the black guys would come in with these extra long white tees or these white wife beaters, and they'd have a stain on them or be dirty in some way. So instead of taking it home and washing it, they would go find a t-shirt in the store, pay for it, take the shirt they have on off, throw it away, and put the new shirt on. Now mind you, the Asians will go to Walmart or Sam's Club or some other wholesale store and buy a pack of 3 for like $6 and then turn around and sell individual shirts for $4 to $6. They'll take them out the pack where they're rolled up or folded up and possibly iron them or press them or somehow hang them on hangers so they look like they didn't come out of a bag, and then the guys will go in there and buy them. A lot of times these so-called ghetto groceries are the only things that are close enough to where you don't have to take a bus to get there and you don't have to walk a long distance. So instead of going to the store and buying a whole pack of cigarettes or a whole box of Little Debbie's or a whole 6-pack of beer, they'll go to the ghetto grocery and buy 1 cigarette, 1 snack cake, and 1 can of beer. Now the Asians will be doing the exact same thing with these individual items as they do with the t-shirts. I don't know how much beer or cigarettes cost, so I'll go with Little Debbie's. I think they're like $2 a box depending on what kind you get. So they pay $2 for a whole box of cakes and then sell each individual snack cake for like 50 cents, maybe even 75 cents. Even though it says on the box you're not supposed to do that. Also, there are a lot of products that black people like to buy that are really cheap to make, and they offer an opportunity for huge profit. One of them is those multicolored drinks that come in the little plastic barrel-shaped bottles that have the foil top that you peel back. Those really are just water, sugar, and food coloring. They probably cost like $3 to $5 to make, including the packaging. So if they turn around and sell those for 25 cents or 50 cents, that is huge profit. Not to mention taking that same sugar, water, food coloring mixture and put in a sleeve, a little plastic sleeve, and put it in the freezer, and the kids like to suck on them for popsicles. You don't even have to sell that for a lot of money to make a lot of profit. And a lot of times you couldn't even find items like this in convenience stores in white neighborhoods. So it's not just that foreigners are willing to go where other people are not willing to go. It's that they can sell items in black neighborhoods that wouldn't give them as much profit in other neighborhoods. The next reason is that people come in the store feeling rich on payday because they got this big wad of money, whether it's because they worked for it or the government cut them a check. And when they have money, they're more likely to buy whatever little thing their children beg for. And my guy would tell me that sometimes the guys would come in with several girls and say, hey, y'all get whatever you want, bring it up, I'll pay for it. This in and of itself isn't such a big deal if it weren't for a few other factors. One way that these shop owners raise profit is to double charge. Now I can't say how often this happens, and of course they don't overcharge everybody, but if you got a woman in there who's got 2 or 3 kids she's trying to keep up with, running after this one, running after that one, or somebody on a cell phone, anybody who's distracted in any kind of way, they make a good target. One reason it may be tough to detect double charging is because a lot of times these receipts in these Asian stores, they don't itemize each item. It just gives you a total of how much you paid for everything. Or they may even show each individual charge, but it won't say what item you're paying for that amount. So you'll just see 50 cents plus $2.55 plus $3.92 plus $8.91, and you really don't know what's what. So when the customer hears the total, and as long as it's somewhere in the neighborhood of what they thought it was going to be, they just go ahead and pay it and don't sweat the details. But in reality, they could have been charged an extra 50 cents, extra $1, extra $2. And then the last thing is that once they pay the bill and the guy goes to give them their change back, if it's under $1 or maybe 7 cents or 12 cents, they'll say, keep the change, man, don't worry about it. And it probably even makes the black guy proud to say, I got plenty of money, they ain't nothing to me, go and keep that. And then the Asian guy's thinking, you don't know how much this adds up to at the end of the year. Like, even if it was $20, that's a tank of gas, or at least half, depending on what you're driving. I got a little small car, so $20 is at least 2/3 of a tank. That's one thing I really hate about black people, because to too many of us, small money just doesn't matter. But if you take that 7 cents here, 5 cents there, 25 cents here, 30 cents there, and put it in a jar, at the end of the year, you could have at least like $100, maybe even $2. Now, some of y'all out there might be thinking, it ain't going to be that much. If you have, any of you people out there have credit cards or debit cards that'll give you 1% or 3% or 2% back, depending on where you swipe the card, and Discover card, on some stuff, they even give you 5% cash back. So anyway, depending on what card you're using, you can get from 1 to 5 cents per dollar that you spend. So for those of you who take advantage of that, how much money do you get back at the end of the year? $100, $200? Me personally, I usually get at least $200 to $300. Just off of that. 1 cent here, 2 cents there, 3 cents there. So this small change matters. And another reason Asians understand that is because a lot of times they come from a country where a person could work all day, like 18 hours, only to earn like a few dollars. When you're coming from that, 50 cents is a lot of money. I wouldn't be surprised if these Asian shop owners had an extra $500 or $1,000 at the end of the year just off of keep the change alone. I've even seen a few times where the cashier will automatically keep the change if it's 2 or 3 cents, or they'll hesitate giving you the change back if it's not much, hoping you'll say, okay, just keep it. But anyway, moving right along, let's say that they give you back their change. There's still an opportunity to make money because they can shortchange you. Could be a few pennies, could be $1. Again, they don't do it to everybody, mostly to distracted people. People on the cell phone, people trying to tend to a crying child, people who are in a hurry. So, those are some of the reasons why foreigners, and more specifically Asians, like to set up stores and businesses in our neighborhoods.